What's going on, my fantasy fanatics? How you doing this week? Welcome to the Don's Fantasy Playbook. And hey, round one is out of the way of the playoffs. You might be that lucky team that had the bye. You might have got your luck, hey, made it through the first round, or you might have not. I mean, sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. Somebody got to win. If it wasn't you, hey, better luck next year. We'll speak about my teams later, but hey, it, it was a week. I tell you that it was a week. We had some disappointments and we had some out of the slumber to show up out of nowhere. So hey, we're gonna just cut all the chatter right now. We're gonna get into it because I know you want to know who was the top players from last week, who's your players you want to target this week, and hey, the waiver wire is going. Hey, it's going all over the place. It's just a storm is going on out there because we got injuries happening at the last couple of weeks, and you're gonna want to know who to dial in and put on your team and try to get there because it ain't many teams left, as in on your fantasy playoffs. So tune in and let's get ready to rock and roll. All right, let's start off with my top guys from last week. Why not? It's the quarterbacks. You know, hey, they the bakers up in the kitchen, and that's where they go. And we're gonna start out with Josh Allen. Josh Allen had a shootout with Detroit. Yes, he did, but he came out on top. The man put up 41.28 points. Yes, he put those points up. I mean, this was the second most of any fantasy player this week. So he was 23 of 34 for 362 yards and two touchdowns. The man also put his feet to the ground and ran the ball 11 times, 68 yards and two more touchdowns. Yes, Josh Allen was doing his thing. Jared Goff, that's his that's they was what I say. They had a shootout, but somebody had to lose. But hey, if you had them in your points in your lineup, you might have been one of those teams to win because Jared Goff had 41.06 points this past week. He was 38 of 59. If you won those leagues that just by pass attempts, yeah, he put you he got you even some more points up there. I tell you that he had 494 points and five touchdowns. Five. This man set history this past week of putting up that many touchdowns, that many passing yards, and losing in a ball game. Nobody's done that before. And now Jared Allen, Jared Goff has. All right, let's go on to the Mr. Baltimore himself, the man Lamar Acton Jackson. The man put up 36.1 points. Lamar does what Lamar does. And when he gets it feeling good out there and he just be looking smooth, that ball, he don't even have to make too many pass attempts because his guys be getting those jack yards. And then he moves with his feet and you never know where the guys might catch the ball. So he was 21 of 25, 290 yards, five touchdowns. Yes, you heard me. Lamar put up five touchdowns this week. And he also ran the ball six times and 65 yards. Yeah, that man's Action Jackson all day long. Whew, one of the tops, no doubt. We're going to move on to the running backs. That's what we're going to do. We're going to see our top running backs this week. Hey, I'm going to start off with James Conner out of Arizona. Arizona's been making a little noise lately. So, hey, the man's put up some points. He put up 30.8 points this week. He is 16 rushes for 110 yards, two touchdowns, five catches for 28 yards. Yeah, James Conner was out there doing it. Yeah, somebody got to. So, hey, Jameer Gibbs out there. Now, we sorry to hear what happened to David Montgomery. So Jameer Gibbs, he's about to get a workload. I'm telling you, workload. So he had to start somewhere. When Montgomery went down, hey, Gibbs had to press it and keep moving on. So he got 28.4 points. He had eight. The thing about it, 8 yards rushing, 31 yards. But then, those guys down Detroit, they catch the ball out of the backfield. He had five. He also had a touchdown rushing also, and he had 5 receptions for 83 yards and another touchdown. Yeah, yeah, that's what they do down there in Detroit. I mean, well, but hey, but then we had where this guy come from? Tajay Spurs, 27.2 points this week out of nowhere. But you know what? I want to tell you what he did later on. Because, yeah, out of Tennessee, somebody has to do something down there. Definitely ain't that one guy. So then, what we're gonna do? We're gonna move on to the wide receivers. So we're gonna just keep it moving because it was some top players out there, and this guy right here, Devontae Adams, yeah, somebody showed up this week. Ron Rodgers showed up and helped Devontae Adams put on a show. He kept catching that ball all over the place. 9 receptions, 198 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Devontae was out there doing the swing because woo, he was moving out there. Amari St. Brown. Amon St. Brown, Detroit, and now since they was out there running and gunning, Detroit couldn't catch up, but he was catching the ball. I'll tell you that. He had 37.3 points. He had 14 receptions. 14. Yeah, I mean, he was out there throwing it. Somebody had to catch it. And my mom was the man to do it. 14 receptions for 193 yards and 1 touchdown. Mm. Boy, that was a battle. But really, it wasn't close as it looked. Mike Evans, Baker's going to throw it ball. Mike Evans with 36.9 points. He had 9 receptions for 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. Man, see, Mike Evans. And the thing about it, Mike Evans is a sneaky guy who gets 1,000 yards every year. And you forget all about Mike Evans down there in Tampa Bay. So keep pressing him. If you got him in your lineup, just keep putting them in. And last but not least, down there in Jacksonville with Mac Jones throwing the ball. Like, Mac Jones. Yeah, Mac Jones throwing the ball. Brian Thomas Jr., he got Jacksonville. He was out there catching it. He had 32.5 points. He had 10 receptions for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, so he was getting somebody somewhere, and Jacksonville out there competing and doing it. Why? I don't know. It seem like they want a better draft position now. But I guess whatever. I mean, can't go out one way or the other. But hey, Brian Thompson's out there doing his thing. Somebody got to do it. All right, we're gonna move on to the tight ends. Tight ends, those guys. Now, John Smith's been putting on some work lately. Sometimes he shows up, sometimes he don't, and if he does, showed up late. But this man, Tua finds him. Tua finds him at times. He put up 19.8 points, 9 receptions for 48 yards and 1 touchdown. So, with that being said, he gets in that position sometime where he over that middle, believing that man gets it, and it ain't the easiest thing to take them down either. So, and, and then we got a name out of nowhere, Brenton. Brenton Strange. This man for Jacksonville, like Mac Jones is finding people down there in Jacksonville. Guess he's just trying to end the year strong. 18.3 points, like 11 receptions for 73 yards. I mean, you can't ask for more. Tight end, 11 receptions, 73 more. Yeah, that's production. And putting up those points for tight. Yeah, gotta give it to him. And last but not least, Sam Laporta. Like I said, Detroit, I mean, they just down there catching, but they fought for their lives, but they didn't fight hard enough down there. Sam Laporta had 18.1 points. He had 7 receptions for 111 yards. Maybe he should have snuck a touchdown in there for a little bit more, but I get 111 yards for your tight end, yeah. But you putting up 490 yards passing, but still lose. So hey, that's what happens sometimes. All right, we're gonna go on to our defense. We're gonna keep it moving. Now, this week's top defense, Kansas City. We've told you their defense what keeps them from not losing, and they do what they got to do. So we got they had 4 interceptions, they had 2 forced fumbles, one safe, no, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 5 sacks, and just only allowed 7 points. Yeah, yeah, productive. That's what Kansas City defense been doing. Now we're going to sneak down here to Atlanta's defense, who out of that terrible game last night, and but it's like somebody had to win it, and whew, that was a struggle to stay up and watch. Tell you, 21 points. The Falcons pulled out 2 interceptions though. They had 1 forced fumble and fumble recovery. They had 4 sacks. They had a safety. Had 2 blocks, and they just allowed 9 points for the game. Yeah, they survived it. They did. They had opportunities. They let the team get the opportunity, but they survived. Let's say that. The Falcons. So, hey, defense moves on. And Kansas City defense, you got to have them in your lineup. You got to have them in your lineup mostly. All right. So we're going to go to their kicker. Now, the top kicker for this week in Tampa Bay. Now, Chase McLaughlin had 18 points. Now, the man, he kicked several field goals with, what was that? Oh, man. It slipped my mind right there. But at the same time, he had 1, 2, 3 field goals and produced so much for the Tampa Bay just to have them into the game and help them get to where they got, as in at the very end, to win it all. So the top kicker, 18 points. You can't beat that with your kicker. Not at all. All right. Let me quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Malwire Beer Company. Go down there, get fresh, refreshing beer all day long. Just good atmosphere. It's a good aura down there, good bar, and hey, even good food. Go check them out. Malwire Beer Company. And with that said, we're gonna go with our overachiever of the week. Now, like I said, nobody was expecting Taji Spurs out of Tennessee to do what he did. The man was projected 6.9 points. He ended up having 27.2. Yes, he did. Taji had, the thing about it, he just had 4 carries for 5 yards and a touchdown. But some of those running backs catch you out of that backfield. He has 6 catches out of backfield for 87 yards and another touchdown. Yeah, he put up, yeah, 2 touchdowns out there. Yeah, that'll get you what he got, that 27. So, good game, Taji. Good game. Good way to show up. All right, next. Who did not want to show up this past week? Who was Ghost? Who was like, where's he at? Who helped you lose your fantasy season? I want to tell you one guy who helped you lose. If you had him in your start lineup, it's man Cooper Cup. I mean, last Thursday, I know the 49, that game was terrible too. That was a terrible game. And Cooper was nowhere in sight. He just got targeted 3 times. He was projected 15.7 points. He did not get nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Yeah. Donut. Just God, those guys right there, boy. When you put so much faith in some of these guys to produce every week, and when they do that, and especially it's the first round of the playoffs, that's so sickening. That's so terrible. But sometimes they just don't show. It is what it is. All right. Now look, we're gonna go with who we start this coming week. Who am I starting? Or who I'm persuading you to start. My suggestion, let's say that. So we starting with George Pickens. Now, he just coming back. We looking for him to come out strong. And now that's one thing. We gotta hopefully he turns back healthy. So he comes back healthy, you put him right back in your lineup. He is going against Baltimore. Baltimore's pass defense sucks. They're terrible. Baltimore gives up the second most fantasy points to wide receivers. Yeah, the second most. And their pass defense is the second worst as it is. So, yeah, you can pass on Baltimore all day long. So, let's see. Hopefully, George comes back healthy. Hey, I mean, I stuck with one of my lineups, but it might be that time when some of your big names have gone down. And you just need some little extra. And against Cooper Rush going against Tampa Bay, yeah, their pass defense is they give up the third most pass yards to their opponent. Um, and if anything, just use them for this week. I look at it. I mean, because now you got Rico Double is playing. Give him the play action. He's getting his run on. Now this is what Dallas has been looking for. This is what they needed. Where they got the option. Now they running good, so make them doubt the run, make them fear that. So now Cooper has the time to find his man. So as long as Rico's doing his thing, Cooper has time to do what he needs to do, get that ball out the pocket. I mean, I'm going to give it Cooper. I'm going to give him one more week. Get one more week. That's all I ask. All right. Bucky Irvin. Now, we're just talking about Dallas against Tampa Bay. Now I'm thinking as in Bucky can run on Dallas. Their run defense is not the greatest, but at the same time, Bucky's get majority of the carries. We would get White is getting some here and there, but Bucky's getting the majority. And as of last week, he's averaging 7.8 yards a carry. He finished with 117 yards last week. And Dallas gives up the fourth most rushing yards a game. to their opponents. So hopefully, Bucky's, he's back strong, running hard. So hey, have him in there. Like I said, they'll give White some action too, but hopefully they don't sneak him in on the goal line carries. Last but not least, I'm going with DJ Moore. And DJ Moore, they're going against Detroit's defense. And they give up the sixth most points to wide receivers. Chicago's at home. And we know Detroit's defense is nursing some injuries right now. And if, I don't got too much faith in Caleb, but at times, he can sling a little bit here and there. He can pick up some yards. So keep an eye out. Hopefully, he can pick up some yards in that defense of Detroit, and he put some points up for you, especially if you just have him in your flex spot or whatever else, and or if that's you have to start him. So let's just think about it. All right. So now we're going to say who I'm benching this week, because now this is ride or die. We in the playoffs now. We don't got time to just guess on people half the time. It's like we don't got time to put any of these duds in. If you're not going to produce, you're not going to produce. So with that being said, I have no more faith in CJ. CJ Stroud, I have no more faith in. I'm sorry. And plus, he's going against Kansas City's defense. Kansas City's defense. I mean, hey, they one the best defense against the pass as it is. And CJ's been so non-consistent. You don't know when to trust him. And Nico Collins, he gets out there, but then Tank Dell acts like if he wants to play or not. And Dalton Schultz, I don't know. I can't trust CJ against Kansas City. And the only way I think that he has to start putting that ball up if Kansas City gets that early lead, he's going to have to throw it. Because if not, they'd be giving the ball to Mixon also. So we'll see how this turns out. Another one, Josh Downs. And, kind of shocking that the Titans are third against the pass. And they fifth against wide receivers, giving up the fancy points. And I just don't think Anthony Richardson is the guy for that job. And it's just so doubtful. So I would sit any and everybody wide receivers for Indianapolis. I just don't have no faith in them. Like I said, if you don't trust that quarterback, Anthony Richardson just ain't looking the same no more. And I don't know. Something's going on in Indianapolis where things just not looking like they're working out right now. All right. Isaiah Pacheco. Going against them, going vice versa, going against Houston. So now Houston is fourth against stopping the run. And on the running backs with their fantasy points. So at that time, they've been splitting. With that being said, they've been splitting carries with Pacheco and Hunt. It's another. I mean, you just don't know who's getting it, how productive they're going to be, and how much is Houston's going to be able to stop the run. And plus, do we even know, as I'm taping right now, we don't even know how Patrick Mahomes is going to be looking coming Saturday. So that will be a factor also. Our coming game time. All right. So, and now we go to Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith, I mean, they're going to get San Fran this coming weekend. And sad enough, San Fran is second against the tight ends, as in holding them with their fantasy points. I mean, Smith has not got, they've been, let me say this. San Fran's been holding their tight ends they play against to under 10 points each game they play. and that's in fantasy points. So at the same time, can you risk being double digits? I mean, as in single digits cost the double digits because we need all the points we can get right now. So the man needs to start. I think, if anything, if he don't start early, he'll get forgotten about, and he'll get some little dump off here and there, but not enough. I don't think for the fantasy points. You got to watch out though. He might get a touchdown in, but it all depends how plus your roster's looking. If he's the only thing up, yeah, you sneak him, put him in there. Tua might catch him with red zone under the 5 yard line, catch him real quick. But other than that, I don't think he's going to do too much more than just get a touchdown if he does that. So that's dependent on the touchdown. But like I said, we shall see. Last but not least, we're going to Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is slowly that Taji's Spurs take over. He's getting more opportunities. And if you're going to, and plus, we got to watch out how Tony Pollard's looking because he's been nursing from even the last game. He's nursing, came back from an injury, nursing it in the last game in the ankle. It's like they was watching his workload out there. So he probably was on the camp snap. I mean, snap, count snap. Couldn't even get it out. And so when Spurs comes in, he's been productive and yeah, he's holding his own. So with that being said, you gotta watch out. And they get the split, and yeah, they going with the younger, more healthier, I do believe. So yeah, keep Pollard on this sideline. He has been productive, so he's put on a good workload all year. Woo! And with that, now we go to one of our favorites. Who's all on the waiver wire this week? Taji Spurs. Now, just by what I've said, as in Tony Pollard nursing an injury, that will get him more and more carries. So with that, you can even have him. He's going to get to the point where he could be your RB2 or in your flex position. And with terrible run defense they got in head of them, you can at least play him for these next 2 weeks. You got Indianapolis this week. You got Jacksonville next week. So yeah, I think he's going to take on a nice little workload, and it might get to where they might just go out and sit Pollard. Like, is it even worth it to keep him playing? Because they're not going nowhere. Yeah.
Another banger.
So we got Jerome Ford. Now, we all know Jerome Ford is about to be the hottest thing on the waiver market right now because Nick Chubb is done for. And I mean done for. He's going to be the top ad. And from last week, the man just got 7 carries, but went 84 yards and 1 touchdown on that. He took advantage of his opportunity. And yeah, he might be one to watch him come this coming week. And when you get another opportunity, keep on moving. So we shall see. Romeo Dobbs, who's just come back from concussion protocol. And he came back and made sure you knew that he was back. The man, hey, 40 yards and 2 touchdowns. Can't ask for too much more right there from man coming off of injury. So he had an 18.5% target share. So he was getting out there and, they was looking for him. And so love getting that ball. You look up in the end zone. You like, who caught? Yeah, Dobbs caught that touchdown. So, and with the Saints, the Vikings, and the Bears coming up these coming weeks, that can get you through the playoffs. And if you need to, put them in flex, Saints, fifth against the pass, Vikings 14th against the pass, are not against it at the pass allowed. So yeah, they letting a lot of stuff go. So they fifth, Vikings 14th, and the Bears are 7th. So that just tells you, yeah, opportunity's gonna be there. Yeah, might want to go get Dobbs. And another one off the, it's probably be a hot one. The second year guy, Kendry Miller out of New Orleans. Now, Kamara, we're gonna have to watch Kamara because we're looking for, might have a groin injury. And with that, when Miller came in and got what he did, he was averaging 5 yards a carry. So he was being productive when he came in, but at the same time they was already down. So yeah, it wasn't too much more the Saints could do. So it was like they was trying him out. And another thing, this might be another guy. They might sit Kamara out for the rest of the season and just, hold him off. Make sure he's healthy coming for next season. So Miller probably will get the reps coming up. We're gonna keep an eye out and keep an ear listening for what's going on. But yeah, you might want to if you need them. Next couple weeks, you got the Raiders and the Packers coming up for New Orleans. So that run defense, yeah, it's not the greatest either. And then down in Jacksonville, Brenton Strange, he was getting 26 percent target share this past week, and I was like, who? Man, we ain't seen too much production out of him, but hey, him and Mac Jones found a little connection right there. And coming up, they got the Raiders. The Raiders allowed the third most to the tight ends. So, I mean, these are going to be two terrible teams playing against each other coming up. Somebody got to get the yards and somebody got to win. So, Jacksonville said, why not us? So, look for Strange to get some production out of this coming week. Yeah. All right. But one of our favorites, who was just that guy who you had him in your lineup. You knew you was looking for some production, or you just had to put him in because you didn't have nobody else. This week, I don't got one, but I got two guys for you because I couldn't choose because both of them was just horrendous this past week, and both of them got taken out the game and got benched eventually. So we're gonna start down in Tennessee, 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 Tennessee. Yeah, with that guy, Mayo Will Levis down there. The man had negative 4.44. Yes, you heard me. Negative. Negative. Yes, it was horrible. He was 8 for 12 for 89 yards, but the thing about it, he had 3 interceptions. Ooh, gosh, yeah. I probably would have just told him gone home. I wouldn't have just told him just go, just go, just go. Terrible. And next we got, and it's like we shouldn't even be surprised because this is what he does. He has terrific games, then he has garbage games. He has terrific games, he has garbage games. That's what the man does. But it just hurts because when these players be having, especially quarterbacks, they affect their wide receivers, the tight ends, the running back. They affect their whole team. So James Winston, he finished the day with negative 0.36. Man, the man was 16 of 25, 146 yards. You're like, oh, well, that's so. He had 3 interceptions. Jameis Winston doing Jameis Winston things, and he got sacked 5 times. So yeah, man. Yeah, it's trash. It's trash. It's so I don't know. These guys just it's terrible, man. Especially in the season. And then, like you said, you got your leagues where your super flex leagues where you can play your two quarterbacks. You ain't thinking, well, James Winston puts up points. Will Levis been throwing the other guys, the wide receiver. He's been, yeah, you should know. You can trust them. So with that being said, yes, I got they trash. They trash. They trash. And I hope anybody sitting in the playoffs. I know you're not. You don't got them on your team. It's over. They probably and by speaking of Will Levis, yeah, he's getting benched for Mason Rudolph next week. So that's the word on the streets. All right, but we have the fantasy football player of the week, the Dons fantasy football player of the week. No other. It was hard. I'm gonna tell you this, but Devontae Swing Adams came out of nowhere. Him and AA Ron had a game. The Jets won, and really, wow. 9 receptions, 198 yards, and 2 touchdowns for 42.8 points. So it was, yes, it was what a day for him. But now we won't hear nothing for the Jets the rest of the year. So it's just a couple more weeks. But him and Josh, I mean, I wanted to go Josh Allen, but you give to Devontae. I mean, they got the win out of it also, and he ain't done nothing like this in a while. I don't even know if he done anything like it all year. But hey, great day for you, Devontae. Great day. So you're the fantasy player of the week. Be watching your mailbox. So we're going to end this on a note that didn't go too well. I was hyped going to the playoffs. I'm getting all my teams in. I snuck in the back door. I kicked in the back door because I had to get in there. But it just started Thursday night when that terrible Rams and San Fran game. Brock Purdy, nothing. I mean, there was nothing. I was debating on him all leading up to Thursday night. And I changed the lineup at the very last minute. I don't know why. I felt like Rams could have, their pass defense was going to give up more, but it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all. And yeah, I regret it. Now on several of my teams, I know I'm just going to have to, from next year, from drafting, have to change my draft strategy up. And that's what you learn some years. I mean, when you just squeak in and then you face a more dominant team, and when you look over the other side, you like, yeah, this might not be pretty. So I won one out of two. So I'm just going, and then the other one, 54 Sports Network, I'm down by like 30, 40, going into the second, as in the second round of the first round. So yeah, that's gonna be tough. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to survive, but I think I'm looking good in my other league that I can, get by. And I had at least that when I had people show up, and that's what made it through. That's what made me through. I mean, I'm glad. So hopefully I can keep on going, trying to survive. But in my work league, I did lose, and this is the first year I in 3 First year in 3 years that I did not make it to the championship game and win. So this year there will be a new champion. So I'm gonna have to give over the trophy. Well, can't win them all. It is what how it goes. So that being said, people, thanks for tuning in to another the Don's Fantasy Playbook, and I hope you got something out of it. These are just my thoughts, my look on the fantasy football world. Do a little, scout and try to be on the lookout for who's coming up, what injuries are being had, and who's the next big thing for the next week. Well, thanks for tuning in, people. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time. Peace.